Hey everybody. Let's go ahead and go over our matchup for this week. This week we are facing Koby, and Koby and I are actually tied for second in the league this week. So this is actually maybe a bit of a heavyweight bout for our league. We're both 10-2. I think he lost to Ben actually, and Ben is actually like having kind of a resurgence. He's definitely on the uptick, right? 2 wins straight, and he's been making a lot of trades in the off, like on Sundays and stuff when we have our trade window open. So he is definitely coming up, it seems like. And then Koby, and then Ian, who is the only person we've lost to. So these are kind of shaping up to be the top four right now. Although, you do have maybe like Patrick and Zach kind of in the back also. That either one of them, if they win out, could potentially get in. I know Zach actually has a win over Ben already. So if Ben drops the game and Zach wins out the rest of the way, Zach might end up getting in over, and then if Patrick wins out, he has a chance also. It's still that fourth slot is still kind of anyone's, I guess. I'd say anyone in the top sixes still. But we should have a good game this week versus Koby. If I click on the teams, I can see Koby's team here. He has Gengar, Garchomp, Azumarill, Volcarona, Gliscor, Heliolisk, which I actually dropped earlier in the season, Liepard, Trevenant, Vanillux, and Fortress. So he's got a really good squad. I actually haven't seen any of his games to this point yet, so I'm actually really not sure how he's been playing. I'm hoping that, I have certain matchups that are pretty good into him, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to take advantage of them. The first one of those matchups is obviously going to be Frostlass. Frostlass has super effective blizzard damage into both Garchomp and Gliscor. So, if we were able to catch one of them out in the open, we might be able to get a one-hit knockout on them. Next up this week, we are bringing Sneasler. And Sneasler is running... Wait, this isn't the right set. 1 second. That's the wrong team. Sorry about that. So Sneasler this week is running Throat Chop, and that's specifically for Gengar in case it goes for Perish Song. The thought there being if we lead maybe Sneasler, Whimsicott, Tailwind, and Throat Chop into the Gengar, then it would stop it from Perish trapping, because that is a way that Koby could win the game, and I very much feel like I need to be prepared for it. I actually feel like I've built the team very heavily to prep for Gengar this week, so hopefully we don't get caught with too many curveballs or something like that, as I'm sure he'll end up bringing Gengar and probably Garchomp as well. This is our Sneasler set, though. Adamant, 32, 2 HP. Pretty standard for what you'd see on ladder. Not too much more to say about that. Whimsicott this week. I'm finally dropping the Koba Berry set for Whimsicott. This is going to be the standard Sash set with, well, maybe not standard, but max special attack, max speed, timid. I've got Moonblast, Tailwind, Protect, and Encore. Should be able to put out a little bit of damage with that 32 special attack. Hopefully being able to, chunk Garchomp for big amounts, if not knock out a weakened Garchomp. But really, he's just there to Tailwind and, Encore lock things if the situation arises. We've got Milotic. This is the set for Milotic that I've been running basically all season, although I have heavily considered swapping it up for maybe like the Hypnosis Coil set or something like that. But 21 hits the defense bump right there, so it gives it plenty of physical bulk. While at the same time, being able to have a little bit more in the special attack allows it to be able to do more damage and make its Scald and Icy Winds more effective. Frostlass we've already gone over, but this is actually the same set as it was for the other team. Actually might be the same Frostlass. But it's modest, 32, 2 HP. Protect, Aurora Veil, Blizzard, Shadow Ball. I don't know if I'll really even have the opportunity to click Aurora Veil. I've actually considered dropping it for Thunderbolt. So if you see Thunderbolt in the matches, it's because in between I gave in and decided to put Thunderbolt on it. It does get great coverage though, right? I mean, it gets Bolt Beam coverage. It gets Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. And then, obviously I'm not going to run Ice Beam when Blizzard if I set my own snow and he doesn't have a method of changing the weather. So I'm going to run Blizzard for the spread damage, plus it does just more. But it does get really great coverage between Thunderbolt, Blizzard, and Shadow Ball. It'd be able to, hit a lot of things on his team, including, I've been kind of like eyeing that Azumarill. Is like, I don't know if I want to face that. So I think I may actually drop Aurora Veil right after filming this in order to put Thunderbolt on just in case he brings Azumarill. Then we've got Hisui and Decidueye. He obviously has Scrappy, but I don't want to be hitting Gengar with close combat because it's poison typing resist. That's what Sucker Punch is there for. If it can catch him, maybe try and go for like a Shadow Ball or a Sludge Bomb, something to that effect. Leaf Blade is there in case Azumarill is brought and also is not the Sap Sipper set for Azumarill. So if it's huge power, that's great. We'll hit it with Leaf Blade and we're faster. If not, then we just gave it an attack buff because it's Sap Sipper. So we might bring Decidueye as like an option. But I think where things are going to get really interesting is with Farigiraf. Farigiraf, this set is specifically catered to handle 32 HP Gengar, 32 speed. So if he has more in like the special defensive side, actually no, it'd be the defensive side because I am running Psyshock and Psyshock calculates off of the defense. So Gengar's defense is actually about like 10 or 15 points lower than its special defense. So I thought Psyshock would be a good bring over Psychic in this instance, just because it is going to calculate on the defensive side rather than the special defense side. But Psyshock with 11 on Modest, it's just 1 over the bump, and it guarantees that we get a one-hit knockout with Psyshock for a 32 HP Gengar, so long as we are holding the Twisted Spoon item. And that is what we are running this week, is Twisted Spoon, Modest, 11 special attack for Farigiraf. And the idea there is to be able to outspeed under Tailwind and one-shot the Gengar, maybe as it's getting a Paris Trap off or as it's going for an attack or something, being able to knock it out in one hit. And crucially, the speed stat is 21. If it was at 20, then our speed stat would be 100, and then times 2 for Tailwind would put us at 200, which would tie for Timid Gengar with max speed investment. This makes it so that we outspeed it by 1 point, which is technically 2 points in Tailwind because it's going to multiply that odd number to a 2 instead of a 1. But so this set is specifically countering Gengar. And then, yeah, that's the team for this week. And I hope you guys enjoyed the battles this week. Hoping that we get a good win in and some good matches in with Koby. I'll see you guys when we start. All right, so it is time for the battle with Koby. I'm going to go ahead and hop onto the court here. And I'm going to wait for him to kick this thing off. Alright, looks like he's selecting now. There we go. Okay, so I prepared for Gengar. There it is. I was gonna be like so mad if I spent like a ton of time preparing for Gengar and he didn't bring it, but okay. I gotta be honest with you, I got this like weird pit in my stomach about his team, just because like, I mean, he's got Trevenant there for potential Trick Room mode. Gengar is obviously a problem for multiple reasons. Garchomp is a problem. Well, I mean, I do have Frostlass and should be able to outspeed. Volk could be a major problem too. I mean, especially if he has Tailwind on that thing. So like, I'm gonna stick to my initial lead idea of these two with Frostlass in the back. And think I'm gonna bring my Lodic over Sneasler for this first one. And we'll see how this goes. I don't actually know how much experience Koby has with the game either. I like how we're both the same pose. It looks cool. In my mind, at least. Alright, so he's got Heliolisk, he's got Gengar. Now, what could get really interesting is if Heliolisk is Choice Scarf and maybe goes to like Electro Web or something. What I really hope he doesn't see coming is this Psyshock strategy that I've got going for the first one. Okay, so there goes the Mega. I kind of assumed that was going to happen. Dude, that's a shiny. That's so cool. I actually don't have a shiny Gengar. I've been meaning to get one and just never have. Alright, I think... Okay, this actually does not hurt my plan all that much. I don't know what he's sending out, but... So the... that's Trevenant, I think. So the only thing that could really throw me off is... Yes, okay, I am faster. Is if he has a ton of bulk. And he doesn't. He does not have the bulk for that. I feel good about my prep then, because it's a guaranteed one-shot with Psyshock if he's not bulky, and... Or if he's not specially defensive bulky. Like, it can one-shot even with the... Even with, like, 32 HP, but... I think the only way that he would have been able to avoid that being a one-shot is if he, like, had a lot of special bulk, too. I was really worried about that first interaction. I think I'm gonna have to change it up pretty majorly, though, in Game 2. Now that the secret's out of the bag, that I can Psyshock and just do that much damage, definitely think I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, dude, I am so happy that I picked up Farigiraf last week and the week before. Whenever I picked up Farigiraf, he was such a good get. Because I think he'll be super useful down the stretch too. Not even just as an offensive threat, but just like a... Okay, yeah, so he goes down. I think that has to be Choice Scarf on the Heliolisk, right? Because... I probably need to prioritize taking out the tree, actually. I mean... How many turns of Tailwind do I have? One turn. I think under Tailwind I should be faster than a Choice Scarf Heliolisk. I'm definitely faster. I don't know what I'm saying. I have no idea what I do to Trevenant, and if it gets down to like Milotic versus Trevenant with like Horn Leech, that could get really bad for me, so I actually need to make sure that I KO it. And I do. Okay, good. All right, so I have a feeling I won't be able to just get away with that on the first turn again. I think I'm going to have to change it up. But I also feel like changing it up is what gets you killed, so... going to do... I think I might do Sneasler for Rig, because I don't necessarily think that anything else can one-shot me with Farigiraf, and I do want to bring Sneasler. I don't know. Is it a bad idea to leave Whims at home? I feel like it is a bad idea. I feel like maybe bring it in the back. Yeah, and then I could just click maybe, depending on what he brings out first, I can click Imprison or something like that. Alright, so he's got Life Hard. He can't actually fake me out, though, because if he fakes me out, then Armor Tail is going to activate. So there's not too much he can do to me with that. I'm going to hit Imprison, actually. So he learned last time that I can basically one-shot his Gengar. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I just go for Gengar? No. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to call out a Protect. I'm going to go for the CC and go for my White Claw or my White Herb. And then I'm going to hit Imprison so that he can't use Protect on any subsequent turn. Okay, so he's staying in with Gengar, which is interesting to me because I don't think... I mean, maybe Gengar's running Psychic for Sneasler or something, but I don't think he can KO the Farig. Okay, I don't think he knew about... Okay, so he is running Dazzling. I was really worried that he was going to be running Perish, actually. Okay, so that's Sash. Alright, so he can't defend, so I'm gonna go for Psyshock now. And if Sneasler goes down, then Sneasler goes down. Shadow Ball on the Sneasler does go down, but I think I should be able to pick up the Gengar. Well, I should be able to pick up the Gengar. I'll send out Whims. Okay, so I can control the speed of the battle with Tailwind. And I think Scarf was on the Heliolisk, so I'm gonna Psyshock. If Garchomp takes a single Blizzard, he goes down, I would think, unless he's Yachi. And if he's Yachi, then maybe maybe I should have targeted down Garchomp, actually. I don't know. Quick Claw. Okay. Oh, don't have to worry about what that is. Ice Beam. That will not KO because of Focus Sash, but if Garchomp took EQ, then that could potentially KO. I'm a little happy that he didn't bring Azu, because if he brought Azumarill, I was a little worried about whether or not I'd be able to handle that all that well. I'm gonna protect in case He's targeting the Farigiraf. I don't know if this picks up the KO. It does. Okay. I like the name Too Cool because, you know, he's ice cream. Okay, so he does go into dig with Farigiraf. And he can't protect because I've sealed it. Dang, this Farigiraf is actually vicious. I kind of want to, like, if Gengar was more popular, I'd definitely take this on the ladder. But he's specifically made to counter Gengar, so like I don't know how effective that would be. Let's send Koby a GG real quick. All right. Azu and Gliscor. Do they not know we're not supposed to be switching teams? I mean, I guess it's fine. I haven't been doing it, and I thought that I had said that in the rules, but I honestly don't care. With Gliscor, okay, so the thing that scares me is if I don't say Frostlass for last. Maybe I could lead Milo and Wims this time, Frostlass in the back, and then Farig in the back, just to change it up. I just feel like he's gonna save Gengar for last, maybe this time. Yeah, so he did change it. Oh, I should have brought Decidueye. I don't know what Azumarill wants to do. It could be the belly drum set, and that'd be potentially that could be potentially really annoying. Tailwind, so he used Quick Claw on the Volk. Quiver Dance. Okay, so I can just lock him into Quiver. That is the belly drum set. Okay, so what is less likely the problem? I feel like a max attack is more of a problem than a +1 special attack, although they're both pretty big problems. Heat Wave will probably bring to Sash, yeah. I could lock him into Heat Wave, though. Burn on Milo, okay. I'm just thinking if I burn, or not burn, but if I lock him into Heat Wave. Then at least he can't set up another Quiver Dance, right? Or do I preserve Limbs? I guess we just attack and see.
Worst case scenario, I could always Trick Room in the end game. Oh, okay. Yeah, now I kind of regret not preserving limbs. 42. I don't actually know if this will be enough to KO. Also, I think he's just faster. Milo avoided the attack. I would have preferred limbs avoided the attack, but oh well. It is what it is. Also, Garchomp should not be faster than... Well, let's just Choice Scarf. Okay, so Volk goes down. I think I send out Frostlass here because... Oh, it could be really, really problematic, though, if he sends out Gengar here instead. Because Gengar might have... I'm sending out for Rig. Because if he sends out Gengar, then... Okay, he does. Icy Wind? I think Icy Wind is perfect because I am not expecting that he'll be able to... Do I protect here? What if he goes for Perish, though, is the thing. He hasn't revealed Perish yet, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have it. The only thing I've actually seen Gengar do, I think, is just Shadow Ball and Dazzling Gleam. Okay, so... Icy Wind. How am I... Oh, is Tailwind still up, I guess? I'm surprised Milo was faster even with the... Yeah, I guess I'm just surprised that he was faster. I thought Tailwind had expired, but I guess not, clearly, because... Must be bulky Garchomp then, if he's got leftovers. Yeah, Tailwind was still active. Probably should have checked that out, actually. I will go for Psyshock into this because Garchomp is really weak to Frostlass in the back, and I don't know what... Azumarill can do exactly to Frostlass. Not that I really expect it to do much, but... Okay. That should be game. Right. GG's.